Ever feel like nature's imagination runs a little wild? It turns out our planet is home to some truly mind-bending creatures. Animals that break the mold and redefine what we think is normal. Today, on Oddly Interesting, we're going on a journey across land, sea, and everything in between to discover some of the strangest living things Mother Nature has to offer. Buckle up, because this ride gets weird fast. Let's start with a classic oddball, the platypus. Imagine a creature that looks like a beaver and a duck got mashed together in a blender. That's the platypus for you. A mammal with a bill like a duck's, webbed feet, and an otter-like tail. If that wasn't enough, the males can deliver a venomous sting with sharp spurs on their hind legs. Venomous mammals aren't exactly common, so the platypus is definitely doing its own thing. Early European naturalists even thought it was a hoax when they first saw a specimen. Someone must have stitched a duckbill onto a beaver's body, right? Nope. That's just the platypus being its perfectly peculiar self. Moving below the ocean's surface, we find the immortal jellyfish, also known as Turritopsis dohrnii. While most jellyfish live and die in a straightforward life cycle, this tiny species has a trick up its tentacles. It can revert to its earlier life stage if injured or threatened. Essentially, it hits a biological reset button, morphing back into a polyp form instead of just dying. Imagine if you got hurt and could simply de-age to childhood to start over. It's not exactly forever young, but it's pretty close. Researchers are still unraveling the genetic secrets of this process, which may hold clues to aging in other creatures, possibly even us humans. Imagine a living pine cone or an armored artichoke that waddles around dining on ants and termites. That's the pangolin, the world's only scaly mammal. Rolling into a tight ball when threatened, pangolins rely on tough, overlapping scales to deter predators. They use their sticky, elongated tongues, sometimes longer than their own bodies, to slurp up insects in record speed. Though adorable in their own odd way, pangolins are heavily poached for their scales, making them one of the most threatened groups of mammals on Earth. If you're a fan of aquatic oddities, the axolotl should be right up your alley. This salamander never fully grows up. It retains its gills and stays in water instead of moving onto land like most amphibians. Perhaps the coolest part is its regeneration superpower. Lose a limb? No problem. It'll grow right back, complete with functioning nerves and muscles. Scientists study axolotls to understand tissue regeneration, hoping one day we might replicate their abilities in human medicine. Talk about turning a quirk into a big advantage. Now, let's hop back on land for the star-nosed mole, a small, burrowing mammal with a face that looks like something straight out of science fiction. Its nose has 22 finger-like appendages that are incredibly sensitive. So sensitive, in fact, it can identify and gobble up its prey in a fraction of a second, making it one of the fastest-eating mammals on the planet. The star-nosed mole is practically blind, but that tentacled snout acts like a high-speed sensor array, sniffing out worms and insects in total darkness. Speaking of heightened senses, we'd be remiss not to mention the mantis shrimp, sometimes called the punchy rainbow warrior of the sea. Mantis shrimp have some of the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom, with up to 16 types of color receptors. Humans have only 3. They can detect ultraviolet, polarized light, and much more. Even crazier, their club-like appendages strike at speeds so high they can create tiny bubbles that collapse with a flash of light and heat. Basically a miniature shockwave. That's enough to crack snail shells or even aquarium glass if they get feisty. This shrimp doesn't just see the rainbow, it practically lives in one. On to the birds, we can't skip the hotzin, also known as the stink bird. Found in the swamps of the Amazon, hotzins have a unique digestive system that ferments vegetation in their crop, much like how a cow's stomach works. The fermentation process produces a foul odor reminiscent of manure, hence the nickname. On top of that, hotzin chicks have claws on their wings for climbing around branches. A smelly, claw-winged bird? Definitely beyond the norm. If we're talking weird, let's introduce the Saiga Antelope. Imagine a creature with a face that looks like something from another planet. An elongated, tubular nose that helps filter out dust in the Central Asian steppes and warms up cold air in winter. Though they once roamed in massive herds, saiga populations have drastically declined in recent decades. Their bizarre schnoz might look comical, but it's a brilliant adaptation for surviving in harsh environments. Conservation efforts are in place, aiming to keep these otherworldly antelopes around for future generations to marvel at. Finally, let's visit the insect world and meet the Goliath beetle, one of the largest insects on Earth. Hailing from African tropical forests, these hefty critters can weigh over 3 ounces and stretch up to 4 inches in length. Larvae can get even heftier, up to 100 grams, making them some of the biggest insect babies on the planet. Despite their size, Goliath beetles are relatively chill. They mostly feast on fruit, sap, and other sugar-rich snacks. Their armored exoskeleton and horn-like protrusions might look intimidating, but they're more into munching than menacing humans. So, there you have it. Nature's strangest creatures, each one a testament to life's endless capacity for creativity. From venomous mammals and immortal jellyfish to gill-bearing salamanders and living punch machines, these critters prove that Mother Nature has a sense of humor and a flair for the unexpected. Sure, we might find their appearances or habits bizarre, but they're all perfectly adapted to thrive in their unique niches. If you found this strange tour of the animal kingdom oddly interesting, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more strange and spectacular discoveries. Think we missed a creature worthy of the Beyond the Norm title? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your picks for the planet's weirdest wonders. Until next time, stay curious, embrace the strange, and remember that normal is just a setting on the washing machine. After all, who wants ordinary when you can have extraordinary?